Or they turn the light off.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Why?
You can still see me, right?
Yeah, it's a little dark.
You said it's
but we
too
can see
hot
you.
with the light on.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It is pretty warm. That's fine, Faith. We can see you as long as you can see the screen and be able to read and
Yeah.
stuff.
We pray for the cold bears. No bed, no sleep.
Okay, will do.
I pray for new Ukraine. I still pray for Red Francis.
Okay.
I pray for him.
Did you
Francis
see
here.
him on Sunday? Did you see him?
No,
Oh, you didn't watch service?
I was at my church every Sunday.
Well, yeah, but on YouTube afterwards.
I pray for Francis Hill, but Francis has surgery. Francis Hill has surgery on his leg.
Oh, he's having surgery on his leg?
No, he
Okay.
did. No, he
Oh, he
did.
So Francis Fernandez, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His finger heal.
Healing from leg surgery. Okay, I'll put him on the prayer list.
Yeah, pray for him again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for Jim, Brother Jim at the church,
Yeah.
he just had eye surgery yesterday, and so it went really well. So just pray for his healing. But he did really well. And
Will he be back? Will he come back to church?
I think tomorrow. He said he was going to try to come to work tomorrow for a little while. So
Yeah, you do Bible class at 5 o'clock Friday now, right?
yes. 5 o'clock every
Okay.
Friday. All right. Where did Faith go?
Oh no.
I don't either.
There's me and Faith today. You have to read me. Faith, you have to read by yourself.
I am going to have to. I don't have tonight. All right. So we're also going to pray for all the graduates all the ones that are graduating.
I pray for my brother too, Pastor Alberto.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
And pray for all the Father's Day next month. Father's Day next month.
Okay.
Pray all the fathers next month.
For all the fathers. All right.
Yeah.
We'll pray for Tanya and George and Shelly and
Who preached last Sunday?
Pastor Turner did.
Oh.
But Reverend Francis was there and he did the prayer, and Reverend Parker was there.
When he Turner preached?
Uh-huh.
What did he preach about it last time? Oh no.
You'll have to watch it and see. He preached about peace.
He was.
Huh? Uh-oh, you're frozen, John. What happened? I can sort of hear you.
We are frozen.
Oh, there you
your
are.
Cameras,
You were
frozen.
frozen. You were frozen too. My internet
It's the Wi-Fi lacking up.
Yeah, it is acting up. I don't know why.
We had no fire coming, another fire warning coming, another fire warning.
Access. Okay. It's been acting up for a few days. Yeah, the wind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started just in case this internet doesn't behave itself. So we've got our prayer request. We're going to have Faith there read the scripture.
A different one.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. You ready, Faith?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are God's
Co-workers, like you work together, co-workers. Yeah, awesome. And then we got new share. New there. Okay. All right, Lord's Prayer. John, you want to do it? You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Our Father.
Father, God in heaven, that be your name, that will come, and
Thy will be done.
will be done in oath. There's this day or the event. This is fast passes for against him. Take not tasting. That's not evil.
For thine.
Dias king power.
And
Amen.
Good. And the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Great
Amen.
job. Awesome. Okay. All right.
I'm getting
So
good now. I'm getting good on that one. I'm getting good.
you did great on that one. All right. So we're still learning about Paul and how he followed Jesus' instructions to tell people about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And so Paul went on several of these journeys or trips to tell about Jesus. And a few weeks ago, we heard about, if you remember, that Paul teamed up with Barnabas and John Mark, remember that, to go on their first missionary journey. So they ended up traveling many places, and that's what we've been kind of learning about, his travels. And they went to tell people about Jesus. They just kept going from place to place to preach. So today we're going to hear about two other people that Paul teamed up with after Barnabas and John Mark. So last week our lesson was about the disagreement in the church, Paul's disagreement with the church leaders about how they believed that you had to do something to earn salvation.
Yeah.
And Paul said, no, that salvation comes through God's grace, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're going to learn about Paul's second missionary trip and the partners that he traveled with, which you can see on the screen are Silas and Timothy. So these are found, we're going to be in the book of Acts today. That's what I'll be reading from. And it's in the New Testament. So I'm going to be reading Acts 15 and 36 through 16 and 5. It's not a whole lot of reading. But I am going to, hold on. Okay. All right. So Acts 15. So this is about Paul and Silas and a little bit about Barnabas. So there's a lot that's going to happen in this one. So, and this is right after the meeting with the church leaders when they had the disagreement. So this is what happened after that. So it says, after some time, Paul said to Barnabas, let's go back and visit the city where we previously preached the word of the Lord to see how the new believers are doing. Barnabas agreed and wanted to take along John Mark. But Paul disagreed strongly since John Mark had deserted them in Pamphylia, I'm not sure how to say that, and had not continued with them in their work. Their disagreement was so sharp that they separated. Barnabas took John Mark with him and sailed to Cyprus. Paul chose Silas, and as he left, the believers entrusted him to the Lord's gracious care. Then he traveled throughout Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the church there. Paul went first to Derbe and then to Lystra, where there was a young disciple named Timothy. His mother was a Jewish believer, but his father was a Greek. Timothy was well thought of by the believers in Lystra and Iconium, so Paul wanted him to join them on their journey. In deference to the Jews of the area, he arranged for Timothy to be circumcised before they left, for everyone knew that his father was a Greek. Then they went from town to town, instructing the believers to follow the decisions made by the apostles and elders in Jerusalem. So the churches were strengthened in their faith and grew larger every day. Okay, so that's what happened. So Paul and Barnabas ended up having a very heated disagreement because Barnabas wanted to bring John Mark along, and Paul said no because John Mark had kind of not betrayed them, but did something that made him less trustworthy in Paul's eyes. And he said he deserted us before, so I don't want him coming now, right? And so Barnabas wanted to go with him, so they still went and preached the gospel, but they paired off, they went separate ways to do it. So it's not like they just stopped doing everything. They just didn't agree on who to take with them and where to go. So Paul chose Silas. So Barnabas went with John Mark, and Paul chose Silas, and then they met up with Timothy. So it was going to be the three of them, right? So what did each team, so there was the one team of Barnabas and John Mark, and there was the other team of Paul and Silas and Timothy. So what was it saying that they went and did? Do you remember? What did each team of missionaries end up doing? So Barnabas and John Mark, they teamed up to go do God's work, right? Didn't they? Faith?
Huh?
I don't know where John went. So each team, they teamed up to go do God's work, right? So Barnabas went with John Mark to do God's work away from the other ones because they didn't agree. And then Paul went with Silas and Timothy, right? But they were all doing God's work, just in different places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so it kind of shows you we can all team up, even if we don't all go together. We can team up with people, or, as churches, as people, as Christians, we can go and team up and work together for God in different ways, right? It doesn't have to be at the church. It can be out helping somebody, telling someone about Jesus, showing somebody some compassion, helping them, giving them food if they're hungry, clothes if they need clothes, right? So we can all team up and do different stuff. Even if we don't agree with each other, we can always agree on God, right?
Yeah.
So our Bible verse about being co-workers for God that Faith read, it kind of reminds us of that. So, and Paul teamed up with trusted friends for another trip, right? So, I mean, that kind of leads me to believe he not that he didn't like John Mark, but he didn't fully trust him because John Mark had deserted them already. And he didn't want something like that to happen again. He needed to travel with people that he could trust, right?
Yeah.
And that's really important, isn't it? That we can trust our friends. Is that important to you, that you trust your friends?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens when you can't trust them? Do you want to be around them?
Yeah.
When you don't trust your friends, you want to be around them?
No.
No, right? Because you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know if they have your best interest at heart. And so, yeah, it is. When you don't have that trust, it's really hard to work together when you don't trust somebody. It's an important thing to have. And it's important for you to be trustworthy too. They need to be able to trust you. So, okay, we're going to get into our workbook here.
Okay.
And read. Let me make this a little bit bigger, Faith. Okay. I don't think we need to look at Silas and Timothy while we read. Let me see how long. Oh, it's not that long. All right, can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Paul and Barnabas
Good.
went to Jerusalem for a meeting with the church leaders. When the meeting was over, they traveled back to
Antioch.
They saved in Antioch. A long time they worked together to help the Antioch church. They worked together to
Teach.
teach and preach
Good.
the good news about Jesus. After a
While.
while, Paul began
Good.
to think about the churches they started on their first
Missionary.
missionary trip. Let's go back, Paul said to Barnabas. Let's visit all our friends. Let's see how they are doing. Great idea, said Barnabas. We can take John Mark along. He can work with us. No, I do not think so, said Paul. He did not say stay with us long. The last trip I do not want to work with him again. Barnabas wanted to give John Mark a second
Chance. Chance.
uh,
Chance.
can't
Chance. Good.
can't I will work together with John Mark. Barnabas said he and I will go to some new places
While.
while you go to go check on our old friends. So Barnabas
Teamed.
teamed up to work with John Mark, but the
But that.
last Paul left Paul without a co-worker.
Good.
Paul thought about
Whom.
whom he
Trusted.
trusted. most
good.
he asked
Silas,
Silas to be his new partner. Paul and
Silas
Silas
visited
visited many churches in many towns. On the trip, meet
they met
they met a young man named
good. Timothy,
Timothy. Everyone said
Timothy,
Timothy was a fine young man. Paul asked Timothy to work together with him and
Silas,
Silas. Timothy
agreed.
agreed. He
Traveled,
traveled with Paul and
Silas.
Silas
A little bit more, I think just one or two sentences.
together. Paul, Silas, and Timothy traveled from town to town. They teamed up to tell about Jesus. They
Encouraged, encouraged, good.
encouraged churches and helped many new people become believers.
Good job, Faith. Wow, that was awesome. You got a lot of words that you don't usually get. That was really, really good. Give me 1 second. I just have to tell my daughter something really quick. Sorry. Okay, so we are God's co-workers. Okay, so let's go down here. Yeah, it says, who teamed up with Barnabas? Draw a circle around both Barnabas and his co-worker. So, all right, I have to do the highlight. I can't get to the color one. So there's Barnabas. Who did Barnabas go? Who was Barnabas's co-worker? Was it Timothy, Paul, Silas, or John Mark? You remember who Barnabas ended up going with?
Timothy?
No.
John?
John Mark, yes. Okay, and what do they want us to do on the other part? Then it says, who teamed up with Paul? Draw a square around Paul and each of his co-workers. So here's Paul. So that really what they think Paul looked like? All right. So who did Paul go with? Was it Timothy and Silas?
Go with S.
What's that?
S.
Silas. Yeah, he went with Silas, and then they met up with who? Ended up meeting Timothy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's. All right, well, there we go. That was easy enough. All right, and then we have the story, which I'll read because Tanaya is not here. So it's called Working Together. Stephen was painting a room at the church. He needed to finish today so the room would be ready by Sunday. Thomas stopped by, flopped down in a chair. "Hi," he said. "I came to watch you paint." "Watch me paint?" replied Stephen. "How about you help me paint?" "Oh, no," answered Thomas. "I have never painted before. I cannot help you." "Sure you can," Stephen said. "If we work together, we can finish the room today. It will be ready by Sunday." Thomas looked around. "All right, I will give it a try. It is a big room, and you do need help." Stephen gave Thomas a paint roller. He showed Thomas how to paint the wall. Thomas and Stephen worked together to paint the room. Teamwork, co-workers, that's kind of what it's all about, right? So even if you don't know how to do something, you know, somebody can always show you, right? They can kind of teach you, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating or a little scary to learn something new, but as long as you're willing to learn and let someone show you, sometimes it's kind of fun. I've painted before. I don't particularly love it, but I'll do it. And if someone needs help, I will definitely help them. Have you ever painted?
Yeah,
Yeah. What'd you paint?
I did it in art.
Awesome. Do you like it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fun sometimes. What about you, John?
Yeah.
Painted too?
Yeah.
What'd you paint?
Jesus.
You painted Jesus?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry
I
about
painted a
that.
fence. Yeah, I painted a fence once,
I
but
played the fence in the house.
did nice. Yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's not easy. All right. So many jobs need to be done around your church. Whom will you team up with to complete a project? Write a name on each person below. Let's see. Well, John, Tanaya, George,
huh?
Faith, Angie.
That's not me.
No, it's not you. They're saying write names of people that you want to work with at church. And I just started naming names. But you could put your own names in there. You could say Pastor Turner, Reverend Francis, Reverend Parker, Jim, whoever you want to list. Oh my goodness. Well, that was
well, Francis.
right. And Reverend Francis, I'm sure
Hey, that was fun. We were 7-7. We start early.
I know, John. We went through that really fast this week, didn't we?
Yeah, it's 7-7.
I know. Wow.
Tonight and Joyce is not here. That's why you're fast.
I know. That was wow. That went super fast. All right. So next week we're still going to be in Acts and we're still going to be reading about Paul's journey.
Okay.
Learning about a new one. And it's only going to be like 10 verses. So hopefully Tanaya will be back and George. And so what's one thing you learned or remembered from this lesson, John?
About Paul.
About Paul. Okay. Yeah. And Faith?
When they teamed up.
When they teamed up, yeah, to do God's work, right? And I like that even though Paul and Barnabas disagreed, that they still teamed up to go do God's work. So even if you don't agree, even in the church, if you have a disagreement, you still need to do God's work, right?
Right.
So I like that they didn't stop doing God's work just because they disagreed. I like that they figured it out. They just went separate ways and got more done, right? So I kind of like that. All right, so who is going to pray us out?
Me.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay. Pray for Francis. Pray for Tuno. Pray for Parker. Come. Pray for Reed's family. Pray for him, your Terry, and your dogs, Cat, Hannah. Pray for Francis. Pray for the Corvettes out of snow. Pray for New Crane. Pray for everybody, and return the police on Sunday.
Amen. Thank you, John.
Yeah. Hey, Tubby, hear that, Tubby?
And Tubby, yeah, I sure did. Tubby, Cinnamon, Rue, Onyx, all these dogs and cats.
Hannah, I heard
And Hannah, yeah, I will tell her that you prayed for her. She'll be very, very, very touched.
Who's Hannah?
My daughter. My daughter.
Okay.
All right, you guys, awesome job.
Okay.
So are we going to see you Saturday? And I'll put Francis on the prayer list, John.
Okay.
Are you guys going to be there?
Pray for healing.
Yes, definitely, from leg surgery. I have them on there.
Okay.
All right. So you guys did a great job tonight. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you Saturday, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.